I ain't going nowhere. You sent my link. You sent that link to my message.
I'm about to.
All right. All right. Give me 1 minute.
Okay, we're already live, but okay. Oh, excuse me.
Who? Go. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready. I'm about to I'm about to copy your link. Okay. I like that dance, baby. Send it to my phone. Hey, 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 go in the house, okay? Okay, baby, go in the house. Okay, okay. I had to watch her do a dance, so she wasn't gonna let me. Yeah, I mean, if I ain't let her watch her do her routine, that she was gonna stay there. Okay, I'm
I
good
understand.
now.
My daughter's 4, so yeah, we go through the same things. I can't promise you even a quiet background home today because she's sick. She's supposed to be sick. So
How old's your daughter?
4.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
I
so
hope she
we're
I hope she
already
get better.
live. Joy is in the comments, and Joy Noel says shalom.
It's it's
Shout out
four
to Joy.
it's 4:03. Let's get started at like 4:08. Let's do a little, just little chill while I while I do this link thing.
Okay.
So we can start about 4:08, 4:10. So
Okay.
so you from Dallas, Texas? What you tell me?
I'm not from Dallas. I live in Dallas. I moved here in about 2008, though. So it's like the longest place that I lived. I was born in New York, but I moved out to Denver when I was about 11. And then I went down to college in Florida. And then I came to Dallas. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I see you're in Detroit.
Yeah. From the D. Just about to share this little link. See if people might want to show up. So you say you work with the kiddies? You work with the kids, or you work in
Yeah.
the public schools? Okay.
Yes. I'm an educator.
All right. Placing the link. See if all right, we good. So you in Texas right now? We can get started in a minute, in a second. You in Texas right now?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I just shared the link.
Mama, look what I draw.
Let me get there. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. All right, I'm ready whenever you is.
Okay, so this is a start of our discussion from yesterday. We had a good discussion behind the scenes. I kept on asking, could I go live? Can we go live? As we had this discussion, and then you dropped off as we went to the Most High and why He is not delivering our men from their circumstances at this point. Well, we're going to dial it all the way back, okay? And we're going to go to let me ask some clarifying questions. You believe that feminism endorses women not being with men. Is that true or no?
I believe I like to be more detailed than that. I believe that feminism divides black men. I believe that divide black men and black women. I believe that feminism destroyed the black family. It's a spearhead for white supremacy.
So, can you give me an example of how feminism destroyed the black family?
Well, first of all, feminism is something that's liberal based, and in the 70s they told the black woman that if you have a man, you can't get no assistance. At the same time, while they were shipping jobs overseas between the late 70s and the early 80s, they was telling black women, if you have a man, you can't get these benefits. Remember that movie Claudine with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones in the 70s? She had like 6 kids, I remember, and but she had like 7 kids, and one day her and him was just talking in the kitchen, and a knock came at the door. It was the social worker. She made this big grown tail black man get in the closet because if that social worker came through that door, they was gonna cut them benefits off. So and that's just a little small piece of how that divided the black family. I want you to I want to hear more questions though.
Okay, so you believe because of welfare and the man in the house rule, that made black women devalue black men and say we don't need them. We would rather get government assistance.
It put a financial divide between the black man and the see, here's the thing. Our ancestors, when they was picking that cotton, they wasn't just picking it and and they wasn't just burning that money that they was getting from the cotton. They was building generational wealth. So when it came down for us getting the reparations, they told us to kiss their ass. So then you fast forward there all the way to 70s and the 80s. Now they're making laws and putting drugs in the community. You see what I'm saying? So it's been a lot of things that contributed to what's going on into the black community between the black man and the black woman. And we got to tell the whole story. We got to tell the whole story when we talk about these things. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So where are you getting this information from, that black women all of a sudden divided from black men and didn't want to be with them and would rather be on welfare? Was there a survey of black women at that time? Is there a study that you're looking at that supports it? Where are you getting that information?
This is the griot, the root, but this is what I'm saying. You have to factor in what happened to the black community. You got to factor in everything that happened and what feminism represents. Feminism represents black woman empowerment, but they're still young black girls. They're still young black boys. They're still black men. We got elder, like Goldman Sachs for example. Goldman Sachs is for example. They about to give black women $10 billion. $10 billion. Was black woman and black man both in slavery?
Yes.
Was black woman and black man both in Jim Crow? They got lynched, and in the worst year of Jim Crow, 3,441 black men was lynched. So when they were sticking dogs in water holes, was that black man and black woman?
Yep.
When we was going through riots.
What does that have to do with feminism?
Because it's not anything that you went through, your grandma went through, and your great grandma went through that a black man wasn't sitting right next to her doing it. I mean, feeling the same pain, feeling the same blunt of that racism, of that oppression. Everything we went through, everything you went through. It's funny how they say, well, I hear some feminists say this. Well, yeah, well, black men, the reason why black men are dysfunctional and have sex with women is, do all this crazy stuff is because in slavery, they didn't know, in slavery, we were screwed up in the head and blah, blah, blah. But then I have to ask them, well, wasn't women in slavery too? Like, we love to separate when it's convenient for us. We've been in the same boat. We was both on that slave ship, wasn't? Was it just the black woman on the bottom of that slave ship, or was it the black man? Oh yeah. And was the black man raped too? Or was it just the black woman raped?
The black man was raped. I don't think feminism is denying any type of trauma that a black man may have experienced. There are particular things that women go through that men don't go through, and specifically black women. Okay. And so I just looked at the $1 million that they're giving. I actually had a Sachs Foundation scholarship coming up when I went, but it was not just girls, it was girls and guys who got that scholarship. This is an effort, and who got this done are black women-led groups that got this done for Women's Month. Black women businesses were hit disproportionately when it came to this pandemic. And so this is them trying to get back. Now, there's nothing stopping black men from organizing and getting this done. There's nothing. Well, can we have black men
So black men can force Nike to sponsor them? So
No,
black men can go to Michael
well,
Jordan and say, "Hey, Michael Jordan, give us 10 billion just because we black men." That
well,
should be discrimination. Isn't that discrimination that you get 10 that black women get 10 billion, but because I got a penis, a phallus, I don't get the 10 billion? What have you
this
what have
response.
you went through on what have you went through in America that I haven't went through?
Okay, this is a response to Black women-led organizations going and getting this funding. I'm saying that the Black man is not. He can also organize and have organizations for himself that will go to different places and ask them to invest in them as well.
Name
Uh,
me a black
not,
name me a black male organization.
there's several Black male organizations. What are you talking about? That specifically deal with Black male issues. You have Fathers' Rights Movement, which is a Black male organization here on Facebook. You have fraternities, which
Federally funded,
you have
federally funded,
you have
all federally funded. I'm talking about a grassroots black
federally.
organization
Fathers' Rights
that's
is not Fathers' Rights is not federally funded. This is one Black man who's on a mission to educate fathers about their rights. We have fraternities. We have all types of organizations that men do have organize and then go ask for the money. Just because Black women-led organizations did that for Black women doesn't mean that
this.
should cause a wait a minute that should cause a separation
My
because
bad.
they did not say, oh, and for our men too, oh, and for this too, they have a focus, they have a mission, they have a vision, and they went forward with it. I don't think that it should be a punishment. I think if anything, it should be an example of what to do. Now, going back to feminism definition of feminism, and I wanna get it. I don't know if I'm sharing. Okay, so the definition of feminism, the advocacy of women's right on the basis of the equality of the sexes. Let's see, what else? Let me get it out the dictionary. The belief in advocacy of the political, the economic, and social equality of the sexes, expressed especially through organized activity on behalf of women's rights and interests. That is what feminism means. It doesn't mean stop being with your man. It doesn't mean to separate from your man. I think the problem is, or the problem that we often face is that Black men feel a way about Black women getting anything. And so when we look at that, I don't think that us getting something means that we have to separate or there needs to be feelings or attitudes about it. Matter of fact, it should be a Black man who says, hey, sis, how'd you do that? All right, I'm about to do it for the Black male groups that we have out here. I'm going to get some men behind me so we can get the same thing for us. The separation comes in the attitude. So you just went through this whole thing about slavery, not slavery, but the man in the house rule, as if welfare was created for Black women. Welfare was a response to the Great Depression and the fact that white children were eating out of garbage cans in the richest country in the world. There was no need for that. And so this is how welfare came about. Black people couldn't get it until almost, I think it was like late 50s, 60s. Okay, so they couldn't even get it. So that's another pin for reparations, because we couldn't take part in government programs like FHA and all that other stuff to start to gain our wealth. Okay, so the man in the house rule, though, was ruled out in 1968. The problem with the man in the house after that point is their income not being reported, because you had to make beneath a certain amount for income for you to qualify for your services. Okay, what happened in the 60s is that our men were sent off to war and came back with PTSD, high, and unable to get their GI bills and unable to get the jobs and the houses that they were promised to get. Okay, so poverty is what
That
got
sounds like for you to paint a broad brush that all brothers came back on PSD. That sounds like a Fox talking point. That's very that's
War.
very
When
disappointing that you
people
would
go
say that.
to war, they come back with PTSD. But I also mentioned that they weren't able to use their GI Bills. They weren't given jobs when they came back. I said a number of things, not just that they all had PTSD. So when we look at the driving force, and even
No,
Monahan,
no, when they
um,
was, you said they was on drugs. You said they was all on drugs.
I didn't say that they were all on drugs. See, this is what we get when we're. No, thank you. Excuse me.
If you ain't say that, then I apologize.
I did not say that. I said that they went through a whole bunch of stuff. Go in the kitchen and get one. They went through a whole bunch of stuff that actually contribute to their poverty and to their inabilities to take care of their families like they were promised when they went off to the war. See, again, this is trying to make the woman the what is that the enemy instead of the system that actually failed black men and therefore black
Okay,
children. So
okay. So okay. If you can admit that there's a system that's oppressing us and making us dysfunctional, right? Then why does feminism? Then black feminism shouldn't even exist. If you can admit that there's a system that destroys or divides or whatever, if you can admit that, then what is feminism? How
okay,
did y'all get back? How
there
did y'all get behind? How did y'all get behind Karen and Becky? If you can admit to me that there's a system,
okay,
y'all supposed to be
so
behind us.
it doesn't start with Karen and Becky. I told you on your post that it goes all the way back to Sojourner Truth. That's where Black
Well,
feminism started.
listen.
Then
Okay,
I also told you
no, no,
that
let me talk.
divide between black feminism and white
So,
feminism happened because white feminism wouldn't consider color as a factor. That Kimberly Crenshaw, one of the big names in black feminism, coined the term intersectionality, which means
yeah, yeah,
we could not
yeah.
separate our sex but from our color. And this is what white feminism called black women to do. And this is what the civil rights movement called black women to do. And therefore, there was no space for
Let me talk.
black female principles and interests and stuff to be helped. Black men say that our issues need to be put on the back burner until they can get ahead, and we can walk
We,
into dumb at the
we,
same time.
okay. And first of all, if you really research Sojourner Truth and Ida B. Wells, you will see that history always repeats itself. You know why? Because even then, Ida B. Wells and Sojourner Truth was being used by white feminists.
No,
They'll, yes, they were. Yes,
white
they did.
white feminists.
White feminists were still pushing their agenda above Sojourner Truth's, Ida B. Wells, and the black agenda. Trust me. Go do the research. And the same thing that went on then is going on right today. Y'all play that Karen Becky role of feminism and this and that, and everything that feminism represents. Everything that feminism represents anti-black family, anti-class of woman. You know,
Where are you getting that information, though? This is your opinion. This is what you think. This is not the reality of the
yes,
situation.
it is. Yes.
How, okay,
Feminism has empowered little girls. Feminism has empowered little girls around the world to shake their ass on Instagram or wherever on Facebook, and they ain't lying. Hold on. I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk about this. I'll let you talk about 8 minutes. Feminism has empowered little girls all around the world. Because you know what? The first thing that happened when the little girl gets called out, a 17 or whatever, any type of girl get called out for showing their ass on Instagram or whatever, is, oh, well, I'm exercising my femininity. You know, my superior, my you can't define me, and all that same feminism ideology. And that's what happened, and that's what's going on all around the world. Them slut walks, the slut walk is not oil and water from feminism. That's like burger and fries. When you go to McDonald's, you get your burger and you get your fries. Feminism is like burger and fries. When you get your feminism, you get your slut walk. You get your feminism and you get your gender confusion. You get your feminism and you get your abortions. That's what feminism represents. It represents a matriarchy, not patriarchy, ideology, bull crap, taking out the nuclear family, you know, and you know, sometimes I don't like symbolism. Like for instance, Obama becoming the president, I didn't like that type of symbolism. Tamika Mallory, her saying we're leading this nation, black women are leading this nation, and she's at the Last Supper, like she's God or something, and you don't see the demonic undertones of that. And then 10 billion from Goldman Sachs, and you can't see none of that. You don't think Malcolm X was talking about this in his speeches? You don't think Martin Luther King was talking about this when he was talking about a burning, leading my people to a burning building? This is anti-black family. This whole feminist movement is anti-black
So you
family.
just describe any type of equality for women or any type of good thing that black women get. If it's not inclusive of black men, then that is going to cause you to divide from black women because you feel like you should be getting a piece of the
No,
pie too.
listen. Ice Cube, he went on that show Fox Soul with Claudia Jordan, Vivica A. Fox, Lena Johnson, and Lisa Ray, and they was arguing about the contract, and Vivica A. Fox like, and Ice Cube like, no, Vivica A. Fox like, well, why you ain't got black women included in here? He says black people, and the rest of them, and the rest of the co-hosts was agreeing with that. Like yes, black women is included in black women, but what it is, they have conditioned y'all and assimilated y'all brains to want the bag more than y'all want lineage. To want the bag more than y'all want the future for y'all people.
You act as if there are no issues that affect black women exclusively, like everything we've been talking about for the last 2 days. We talked about domestic violence, which is rampant in our community, and that is backed by stats. We talked about rape. We talked about the homicide rates of black women in our community, the mortality rates of black mothers in the medical field. That is specifically affecting black women. The fact that black women earn less than black men for the same job, that affects black, and we have black women mostly leading households today. That doesn't even make sense. It
But you
doesn't even
can't call black men.
pay
But you
somebody
can't call black men for certain white people.
your children more money. At least you have it equal. Nobody's asking to make more than a man. Nobody's asking that men just make less than women and you put the women up. But it has to make sense. It has to be equity. It has to be
First of
fairness.
all,
That is the only.
first of all,
Wait a
they
minute.
did a
Don't
test.
touch me because I let you speak for a while. That is the thing that is pulling us apart. That's the real issue that's pulling us apart. Everything that you just said was an opinion. It wasn't backed by any fact study I can read. Everything I just said, I can back it up with fact studies. I'm not going to sit here and regurgitate rhetoric just because, I think women are so big and bad. You should be applauding black women for getting that money into the community because women do not take money. Wait a minute. Women do not take money and keep it to themselves. Women flood the community with money. Our economic buying power is doubled when women are a part of it. But you say that in no shape or form have women rights benefited our communities. Well, our women who are predominantly raising the children can own property, can build wealth, can build businesses because those laws have changed. And even if they don't do that and they go to work, they don't have to be harassed. They don't have to be groped. They don't have to
Explain to me.
because there are laws in place that do not allow for that to happen. So yes, our community has benefited from women's rights. Now, you may not like women having rights. And I don't know why. I want to know specifically what rights do you not want women to have?
Well, I don't want women to. I believe in America. It's a free country. A woman can do whatever they want to, but they also got to understand that there's consequences to everything too.
But do you understand that women weren't allowed to own property, open bank accounts? I mean, there's really a long history of things that women could not do that we can do now.
Was that black supremacy? Was that black supremacy or white supremacy?
I'm not saying it's definitely white supremacy because they were the lawmakers at the time.
So why am I being faulted for white supremacy?
When we talk about the rape, domestic violence, and the molestation and the homicide, that is our men who perpetuate that. Not all our men, but black women.
So you shot
black men, and I have a study that I can pull up right now. See, because I sourced up while I was waiting on you, so we can go to that study and look at it right now and go through the stats. Are you ready? Hold on.
Yeah. Prove to me how black men molest and rape more than white men.
Okay.
That's your argument. Right?
Here in our community. I'm not saying that black men do it more. I'm saying that the rates are higher in our community. Now you can take that how you want to, but those are facts.
So black men molest more than white people, right?
Let's read the stats. An estimated 29.1% of African American females are victimized by intimate partner violence in their lifetime. Rape, physical assault, or stalking. African American females experience intimate partner violence at a rate 35% higher than that of white females and about 2.5 times the rate of women of other races. However, they are less likely than white women to use social services, battered women's programs, or go to the hospital because of domestic violence. According to the National Violence Against Women Survey, NVAWS, African American women experience higher rates of intimate partner homicide when compared to their white counterparts. Statistics show that African American women typically comprise about 70% of Black congregations. Religious convictions and a fear of shame or rejection from the church may contribute to their remaining in an abusive relationship. As a result of historical and present-day racism, African American women may be less likely to report her abuser or seek help because of discrimination. African Americans' men's vulnerability to police brutality and negative stereotyping. Non-arrest of suspected abusers of African American women and a fear that police will exercise an abuse of power have contributed to African American women's reluctance to involve law enforcement. Stereotypes amplify the complexities African American women encounter when trying to seek help services. Myths that African American let's it. Myths that African American women are domineering figures that require control, mainly perpetuated by our men. Our men put that out there a lot. Or that African American women are exceptionally strong under stress and are resilient, increase their vulnerability and discourage some from speaking out abuse. Culturally and historically, African American women have been looked to as the protectors of their family and community. Some women may feel because of their religious beliefs, they must impart forgiveness for their abusers' behavior and endure abuse due to religious obligations under Christian doctrine. The form of religious maternalism or caretaking toward their spouse casts them as their husbands, protectors, and make it more difficult for women to report their abuse or leave their abuser. And I think if I go up, or was this the one? It tells us that most of these women are experiencing this by people that they know, a partner, a relative, people who are around them. It says most of them are intra, and intra means within, intra race. I'm trying to look and see, do I have that up? That's your 1 billion. Oh, here it is. Here it is right here. It says that throughout much of U.S. history, the rape of Black women was widespread and institutionalized. The legal system offered little protection, and stereotypes about Black women's hypersexuality which were perpetuated in the 80s and 90s through rap videos, okay? Were used to justify limited social support for Black rape victims. Black women developed a culture of silence and engaged in anti-rape organizing to cope with their victimization. In community samples, 34 0.1 to 65% of reported childhood sexual abuse, CSA, and 12% reported commercial sexual exploitation of children. In student samples, 11.2% of high school girls and 14.2% of college women reported rape. In national studies, approximately 1 in 5 Black women have been raped in their lifetime. 1 in 5, okay? Black women who were low-income HIV positive, bisexual, or incarcerated were at elevated risk. Most rapes were intra-racial, that means within the race, and involved someone known to the victim, a family member, an intimate partner, or acquaintance. Perpetrators use physical force, coercion, or substances, happening now, substances to gain compliance. We got people still doing the Bill Cosby pill and drugging of women and think that they actually are giving consent and think that that is not right. I'm like, oh my God, please don't say that out loud. So those are the facts. Those are stats. I'm not making this up because I feel a way about Black men, or I think Black men are terrible. I'm married to a Black man. I love him. And the fact is that doesn't negate the stats. It doesn't negate the stats. No matter how much Black men I love, and I love plenty, okay? I have nephews. I love my male students. I actually freed one of my male students, which you said I'm working for today. No, there needs to be some of us in these systems to protect our males, our children.
All right, are you done?
Go ahead.
First of all, you could bring up any type of facts or numbers or articles and try to sway it one way. I could bring out some facts and say and make up a whole context behind it. That's easy, especially in America, where America's #1 job is to create propaganda and agenda and to show and to portray like the Black man is the devil when we already know who that is. But yeah, this book right here, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, Understanding the Assault on the Black Man and Black Manhood and Black Masculinity. Now, the rise of Black matriarchy. The institution of slavery in the United States subverted the relations between the sexes, and in so doing, it inflicted grievous wounds on the Negro man. The Negro man had to be destroyed as a man in order to protect the white world. Unwittingly, unintentionally, even against her own will, the Negro woman participated in this process. The Negro man was, you heard that? The Negro woman participated in this process. Sometimes, sometimes in slavery, first of all, this section is called Kill the Male, Spare the Female. Sometimes in slavery,
participated in trying to protect them. No, don't worry about it. Master just raped me. Please don't go and do that.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill
and
you.
And even deeper,
participated.
and even deeper than that, she used to persuade the Black male buck, her son, that not to be so masculine. Don't stick your chest out. Make sure you look down. Don't look try to look as much like a little boy as possible. So
not around her
for survival and
not be a target.
Yeah. Like I said, so since we got off them boats, it's fair for me to say, as much as I love my Black sisters, is that that she had to work with them knowingly or unknowingly, and maybe for the better of the people, she had to work with the white man. She had to work with the system that is destroying her people. So, and Big Mama never came in and said, no, that's wrong. You do it this way. The white man is the devil. Our big mamas never fits that. So we are inherently, and it's in our genetics, this bitterness and this need to please massa, please this white person. You got to understand. If our women didn't put out, they would rape her husband or her son in front of the whole congregation. And you don't think that that's, listen, if I see a dog get shot right now, if I see a dog get his head blown off right now, that's gonna fuck me up. And I'm gonna pass that, and that fucked up, and that shockness is gonna be in my blood, and I'm gonna pass that down to my kids. So we're passing down trauma from generation to generation, and we're pretending like, and black men pretending like you ain't been through nothing, and black women pretending like I ain't been through nothing. We both was on that boat. We both have had serious mental trauma. Dr. Joy DeGry has a book on this. I have it right here where it talks about, we don't even talk about how we have passed down so much trauma to the point where we think this is normal. Listen, you can talk to me. You make some good points. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you make some good points. But the bottom line is this: the fact that the black man and the black woman is beefing should let you know that there's no way that there's no way that a race of people naturally starts beefing. We can't act like this stuff happened because, oh man, this happened because black men are dusty, or this happened because black girls listen to Cardi B. We can't be that small-minded to not look at it at the bigger picture that we both getting played here. Cut out that middleman, cut out the government, cut out feminism, cut out Black Lives Matter, and let's get to the root of this thing. Because we both been screwed up mentally. It's a whole passage how kill the male, spare the female. All around this world, all around the world where you see poverty at, where you see ghetto at, where you see lack of resources at, where you see in jail at, you see a nigga that look like me. From Brazil to UK to Trinidad to everywhere. But we ain't gonna take that into account when it comes to a woman picking her man. We're not gonna take that into account when all the stuff that's happened to our people. When these people have went to every land and raped, killed. Listen, they didn't rape, kill, and rob for kicks and shits to get their nuts off. They raped, killed, and robbed so that their people could one day have generational wealth and be on top. And so our people could be on the bottom to where me and you arguing about why our people is not in agreement with each other. That's why apartheid happened. I can go to Africa right now and it's Africans digging out the garbage while it's white people living in the suburbs. And you want to tell me white supremacy don't have no effect on that? In Africa, you got white people living in mansions, and you got niggas in the fucking garbage, digging out the garbage. You mean tell me white supremacy don't got no effect on what we go through every day? And you got gentrification. Look, you got gentrification in Detroit. White people moving into the bad neighborhood. And cleaning this stuff up. We still getting colonized to this day. And you want to sit here and act like, oh yeah, but niggas got to get it together. And I can go on Google and show you how we being oppressed.
Well, you're saying because if white supremacy ended, then those stats wouldn't exist. Why can't we as the people say, we're going to stop passing down trauma and we're going to heal ourselves and we're going to look and be alarmed at these stats because we have young girls that we love and then are invested in, and we're going to reduce that and internally handle this problem specifically, and then we can unite. And then, because what I heard you do is dismiss all those stats. Like you said, well, white supremacy, and you didn't have full concern.
No, I said you made good points. I said you made good points.
Okay, but you can address why we don't need avocation for those things happening in our community. You're saying be quiet about it until we beat this white man, and then we can get to you. Again, it's on the back burner. That is a problem for me, especially with a daughter. You have a daughter too, so therefore it should be a problem for you. 1 in 5 Black girls won't make it to 18 without being sexually assaulted. Like, what is that? We can control that in our community. We can start healing it, and we can start, and it takes people to be activists about it. The Black Panther Party had Angela Davis, who is a feminist, and she does not align herself with white ear, cat ear feminism, but she is a feminist. She's directed women's studies and feminist departments at universities, okay? In the Black Panther Party, the reason why they came up with women and children and infants, because they were the progenitors of, progenitors or the prototype which Wick is given now, they came up with that because their men agreed for that. Most of the women in the Black Panther Party were feminists, and their men didn't have any problem about them advocating for women issues. But our men today have significant problems and say, your issues got to be last. And we can't advocate for it, or we cannot heal ourselves. We need to do this first. And this is why the Black feminists, it's separated from from white feminists and separated from the civil rights movements because Black women's issue wasn't a factor.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes, I agree that the Black. See, that's another good point. See, you see how I show humility. That was another good point. How you said the Black Panthers approve of feminism to a degree, but Black Panthers didn't live long enough to see smartphones. Black Panthers didn't live long enough to see young Black women young Black 16, 17-year-olds showing their ass on Instagram. Black Panthers didn't live long enough. Let me talk, baby. Let me talk. Let me talk. Black Panthers didn't live long enough to see abortion being the highest death rate in the Black community. Black Panthers didn't live long enough to see Black women come around this mother talking about little Ray can be Ray Nisha now. So the Black Panthers didn't live long enough to see the monster that feminism created. Tell the whole story.
Around telling Black boys to be girls.
Tell the whole story.
If this is an opinion of yours, can you provide a study where you can show this is what Black women mothers do to their sons? I mean, and unless we can substantiate it with some type of work or body of work that actually has looked into the subject and studied it, it is just your opinion.
Yes, feminism has created emasculated males. Because feminism has created. Come on, y'all been riding on the coattails of Karen and Becky since the start of this.
That's what Black men who do not like feminism say. That is not a fact.
Come on,
it's not a
tell
fact.
Y'all when to talk.
The Black women who were at the Million Women March, which was riding off the coattails of the Nation of Islam. The Black women who were there, they all had 94% because the white feminists sold us the hell out because they wanted to make a big deal about this man talking about that he'll grab somebody's vagina whether they want it or not, and then still voted for him. That's why feminists said 94%. Y'all sold us out. It's been a big divide for a long time. You should really do your research on it.
You know how I know that they put batteries in Black women backs? Because I have never seen Black women have a Black family movement. I've never seen Black women have a let's be classy movement. I've never seen Black women have a let's be religious and loyal to our husband movement. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish my point.
Michelle Obama wasn't classy.
Let me finish my point. And the reason that is because y'all only get batteries put in y'all back for non-constructive stuff. Y'all don't put batteries in your own back for the Black family. Y'all don't put batteries in your own back to be loyal. You don't put batteries in your own back to deny all this homosexuality. But you will put a battery in your back to say, I want money. You will put a battery in your back to say, man is trash, and I want to be a slut. I want to have a slut walk.
Okay, so
you will put a battery in your back for non-constructive wicked stuff. Mm-hmm. That's how I know that y'all only move with a battery in y'all back from Karen.
Black women are the epitome of class, okay? Not running around shaking our asses and twerking and things like that. That's what you notice because that's what your eyes are looking at. Most of the people on there looking and OnlyFans and paying out and dishing out that money are men, okay? So when you sit up here and you try to, basically talk to him about whores, we got to understand how whores are financed, how whores are or supported. And when I say whores, I'm not saying that this is what they do in their life, but if you present yourself a certain way, and people are going to think that they can get to you, then if the shoe fits, wear it, But the slut walk and I don't know if you ever seen Amber Rose actually talk about it, but the slut walk came about because men say if you dress a certain way or if your location is a certain place, then
Not
you
all men.
deserve to be raped. And so
No.
again, we should be able to walk down naked and say, "Don't touch me," and that should be it. That's what she's trying to say. Because in
so do you want your daughter?
in
So do you want your daughter in the slut walk? 10 years from now, do you want your daughter in the slut walk? Yes or no?
It happens by someone that you know. So if you change your mind and you say, "Hey, I don't want to do this," that should be the end of it. It shouldn't. I shouldn't have to explain more about it. If a woman says no, she says no. That is what Amber Rose is going to say. Most men would say, "Well, they sluts anyway." That is the common defense when women go to court for rape. Is how loose they are and what their sex life.
And they be naked on the slut walk. So do you? So 10 years from now, do you want your daughter to participate in the slut walk? Yes or no? That's all I want to know.
I mean, that would be her decision. I wouldn't want her to be naked in a slut walk. She doesn't have to be naked, and not all of those women were naked. Not all of those women were wearing short shorts or short dress. They weren't.
But are they praising promiscuity and whorish behavior? Yes or no?
It's not affirming promiscuity and whorish behavior. It's saying that whether or not that behavior is perceived by somebody else, that there's still not a right to rape. That is what it's addressing. You're twisting it because you're trying to win this argument that you still have not presented any proof to. That is
I ain't trying to win the argument. I'm trying to get you.
But that's not what she's doing, because I heard her speak about it, and she's more of an expert of what she's doing than you
are. So if I start a movement called "I Hate Black Women," can I say, "Well, no, I love black women. This is just a sign"? Words are everything.
Oh, that already
are everything.
The Black manosphere. They women bash every day. They uphold stereotypes about black women every day. They say that black women need to think about themselves in preparation for us, like what we want. So when you grow up, when you look in the mirror and you see yourself dressed, you're not saying, "Oh, I hope women like me," or "I hope I don't get attacked by a woman because you like me." But they say it is what women are supposed to be. We have some women with that type of mentality too.
Everything in life
does not have to revolve about a black man for a black woman. She should be her best self. She should have her mind on the Most High and being her best self, not what a man is going to think or not what a man is going to do to me. Even if I say no, women have to worry about saying no to men in their advances, because now they're biting women in the forehead. A black man did that. That was perpetuated by one of our own, and we cannot just dismiss it and then run to white supremacy. Let's own it, and let's say, how do we fix it? That's what I want black men to do. Okay, this is real. How do we fix this? How do we gain value in our women? Because you don't molest, rape, or murder anybody that you value. Yet we still have this space which you largely
keep saying rape.
Take red pill talking points. This space is there to devalue black women. Do it often. You should read the chats. They advocate violence, raping, all types of stuff.
You keep going back to this black man and black man is raping and molesting black. Yes, there are. Listen, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell white people when they tell me black. Let me talk. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell white people when they say, "Well, what about black on black crime?" I'm gonna tell you what I tell them. First of all, black people kill black people. White people kill white people. Prisoners kill prisoners, because people kill off of geography. People kill the person that's close to them. So unfortunately for our black queens, unfortunately for our daughters of Zion that I would give my life for, unfortunately for them, they're around black predators. So black predators are going to do something to them. And I would give my life for a black queen. Period. But it's off of geography. It's off of geography alone. It's not because black men are predominantly rapists or molesters. It's not because it's
The rate
going
is
up to a
higher
level.
in our community than any other community. So the rate at which it happens, the frequency is higher in our community. So it is happening more. All I'm saying is let's fix it. And because it's not at the forefront of any general Black movement, specifically the conscious community has it bad when they talk about women and who they should be and what they need to be. I'm literally disgusted by it. But if we know that this is an issue, we acknowledge it's an issue, why can't we fix it? Why can't we make it better? Why can't we find a way to heal before we deal with others so people can be healthy instead of perpetuating trauma that occurred to us? Why is there no ownership?
Perpetuating drama, just like feminism. Listen. So feminism has a problem with hierarchy. It has a problem with submission. Do we agree on that? Can we agree that feminism has a problem with submission, even though God said God first, man second, women third, children fourth? Can we agree that that feminism has some problem with submission to their men? Can we agree with that?
I believe that feminism will not back doormat doctrine. No, it does not. But in relationships, though, it is give and take. Feminism will not back that women are the only ones who have to submit and give and
yes,
give.
it is.
Give,
yes,
give,
it
give.
is.
Huh?
Yes, it is. Women.
What?
Listen. When I
Also,
go in the bedroom,
women are supposed to give in relationships and not have
no.
receiving anything.
Listen, when I go in the bedroom, no offense, but when I go in the bedroom, I'm not the one getting bent over. Nature made me the dominant person. It made me the alpha male, and it made
You
a
when you
woman a
have
woman.
a relationship, if somebody's gonna get burnt out if there's never anything given back. So while there is submission, there is respect and love that a man is supposed to give his wife. And when you love somebody, you respect them and you negotiate. And yes, you do compromise with that person. That is how relationships work.
Everything that's successful has a hierarchy. In business, you got CEO, you got vice president, you got the marketing, boom, boom, boom. In sports, you got the coach, assistant coach, conditioning coach, blah 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 player. In hospitals, you got the staff, you got the doctors, you got the nurses, orderlies, and all that. Everything that you name in life has a hierarchy. That's why the Most High said,
That
God,
means that
husband.
higher up in the hierarchy gets to rule and control and dominate another person. You're supposed to lead. There's a difference between leading somebody and bossing them around. We've all seen the meaning. There is a difference. The problem is that our boys, and I go to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, when she describes
Oh, really?
when
Oh,
she described the black man as the baby boy of American society. Our men actually think that when you are in charge, you're running somebody to death versus leading them. There is a difference. I'm a leader at my job. Do I get
shit.
to tell people what to do, or do I have to sometimes compromise, negotiate, and work with them to develop what we're trying to do? It's the latter. You don't get to run and control and abuse people because you're the hierarchy.
You watch Blackish?
Yes.
It was this episode on there where Rainbow, and that's Tracy Ellis Ross, she had a white friend, and they was on this feminism trip, right? They was on this feminism trip, and you know, all these white ladies in this feminism group with Tracy Ellis Ross. So one day Tracy Ellis Ross like, you know what? Let me get my girls. So she brung the girls from Girlfriends from the TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they all in the room talking, right? And long story short, by the end of the show, they basically came to the conclusion that black women's issues and white women's issues aren't the same.
Right.
Hold on, let me finish off one more thing. A rainbow white friend pulled her to the side, like, yeah, I didn't know you was gonna bring your friends, and you know, maybe we don't have the same issues as one another. And I love that show for that, for bringing it home for bringing it home by the end of the show on that substance topic. Like, y'all don't have the same issues. And in that episode, I wish I had the episode for you.
Kimberly Crenshaw said that. That's why she coined the term intersectionality. This is why the Black feminists said, hey, we can't be with y'all because you all don't care about our problems. And that's the same reason why they broke away from the civil rights movement, because it was the same attitude. I posted on your thing, Chimamanda Ngozi. I hope you watched that video, but I posted a man, just like, let me put it in racism terms. In racism, white people find it hard to feel and own that they are privileged, right? And we're like, you're privileged. You don't have these problems because of your skin color that we have, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Right.
Okay.
So black men do the same thing when it comes to sexism. You don't have the problems that we have as women. And so therefore it's not a real thing. It's not really happening to you, or it's not that important for you to advocate for or whatever. It's the same thing. When you have a privilege, when you hear equality, you feel like you're being oppressed.
No love. Love.
You just
Remember
frame
that meme?
feminism, you just frame feminism as women trying to control and dominate men. That is not what it is. We read the definition. It's equality of economic, political, and social status. That equality doesn't mean that I'm trying to run you or I want to be ran by you. It means that I should have the same opportunities. And I don't think that you would sit there and tell your daughter that you can't do this because you have a vagina. I mean, like, what? You can't lead. Only 14% of leadership at big companies is represented by women. She can't be the president of the United States. Why the hell not? If she can't, her needs don't have to be met in a marriage because there's a hierarchy. You're really going to explain and teach that? I don't think so. So we need to be thinking about it. Why does Black feminism exist in a space that's separate from white feminism and separate from the civil rights movement? It's because both sides don't give a damn, and somebody has to be in that middle. And I choose to be there as a mom, as a girl mom, to say this exists. This can be healed. We need to do that now, not until white supremacy is conquered. Why would we make it harder for ourselves in our community when we are battling white supremacy?
All right, I want to touch on what you said. You said, first of all, you said, what you said about my daughter, and you're right. I don't want to teach my daughter to be at home cooking grits all day on barefoot, right? So this is what I'm gonna touch. This is what I'm gonna teach my daughter. I'm gonna make sure that she know what a man look like. I'll make sure she know what a man looks like. A real man is a God-fearing man that believe in God. Call him Yahweh. A real man has some sense of history, pride, and masculinity, and he's willing to give his life for you and take care of you financially, emotionally, spiritually. So I'm going to give her the cue on what a man looks like. Then, if she submits to a man of God, a man that really is about that, then I'll go with them odds over her following any type of Democrat liberal ideology bullcrap. Okay, and to go back on what you said about Black men raping and molesting, I compare that to what they say about Black people attacking Asians. Yes, we are attacking Asians in some small amounts, but as a nation, America has always attacked Asians as a whole. So we assimilated into white people's culture, into white America, attacking Asians, even though we're not even attacking them like that. That's bullcrap. But I'm just drawing that point to bring it back to what you were saying about the Black men. Yes, it is some Black men that rape and molest, but that is just them. That is the culture of America as a whole. That's not Black men. Yes, I feel unfortunate that there are Black pervert monsters out there, but that's just not some Black community thing. That's what America and European culture breeds as a whole. You know what I mean? All around the world. When democracy come to your land, all around the world, when democracy come to your land, homosexuality gonna come, feminism gonna come, and then the destruction gonna come. Debauchery and homosexuality and feminism are the three traits of every fallen kingdom. So wait, Okay, just wait. This mother's
Oh,
falling because we got
Still
debauchery.
standing by women. England is still standing, and it's been run by women. There are a number of civilizations that are still standing that are run by women. Okay,
Say
so I
England
would
again.
disagree with that.
Say,
Huh?
say England again. For one, you know why England's still running? Because that woman colonized 60% of the country by arms, by strength. That's why she's Britain. Yeah. Queen Elizabeth.
They had women colonized, or are men and women literally born at the same rate? They're born at the same rate. It's other things that make the availability of males go down. Okay. So, but anyway, I will, I would actually, I mean, all what you said, I think I've heard it over and over and over like a record player, but I've never seen any study, body of work, any stats that support it. And I just heard you again dismiss what is happening in our community instead of saying, well, look at them. No, look at you. Look, not you, but look at you. Let's look at ourselves. Let's examine ourselves and say what we need to stop doing in our community. We know it's trauma from slavery. Why do we keep perpetuating it? That was the goal, that it be perpetuated. And instead of fighting against it, we're actually saying, well, we have to accept this because of white supremacy. We have all the excuses in the book to not address it because we don't want to point to who's doing it. And it's not just Black men doing it. There's some Black women who's doing it too. But at the same time, we know who in majority in our community is doing it. And we don't want to address or put that stigma or put that image on it. And that is why it's not going to be addressed. The same reason we won't have Black history really taught in our schools. So he dropped off. Let's see if he comes back. Taught in our schools is because it points to somebody else being oppressive and actions that they did that are inhumane. Which is why Malcolm X was going to the UN. He was going to the UN to bring America up on charges because of what is that? Inhumane acts. So we cannot say that, there's a good reason and a good cause. I actually said the same thing to another Black man about the murder rate and how Black women are being murdered. Okay, he's back. Being murdered 2.5 times. And he was like, and then he went on to say, well, because Black women, and tried to blame the women who were being killed. You talk about abortion, but Black women are mainly killed when they are pregnant by their spouse or shortly postpartum. So if we really value that, and Black men accompany, demand, threaten, and finance abortions every day. I got some brothers on the line. No, I got some brothers on the line who said that if any Black man is doing that, he's guilty too. And we actually have the stats that can prove that is the case.
Guilty of what? If any Black man is what?
Accompanying, financing, demanding, threatening to have women get abortion.
Listen. What you're doing is you're pushing the goalpost.
I'm not pushing the goalpost. I'm saying that it is happening, but you can't say that Black men are. You're acting like Black men are so against abortion, and they're not.
If abortion is number one in our community, then you can't say that all them girls got dropped off by their boyfriend. That's ridiculous. To paint a broad brush, to say to admit that, okay, we can admit that abortion is the leading cause in the Black community of a murder. So you can't say that all them girls that had abortions got dropped off by their nigga. No, that's ridiculous. That's a lot of abortions.
Telling Black women, don't get an abortion, but they going out there and doing it because of feminism. Get out of here. And like, that is lies. We can actually, let me pull up the data. I'm pull up the data on
it. No. You know what feminism do? Feminism gives girls armor to do whatever they want to. a girl could have a baby and she could just say, "Oh yeah, feminist movement, blah blah blah, spirituality, woman power, hear me roar." A girl could twerk half naked on Instagram and she can say the same thing. Feminist power, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So feminists give women
you missed
feminists
it.
give women a shield for humility. Y'all don't gotta have humility no more because of feminism. And
No.
that's sad.
First of all, you're talking about some sexual revolution and stuff like that. The real issue is that women and men were having sex outside of marriage, and they were having shotgun weddings and being forced to have a whole life together because they created a child. That's the only time they had shotgun weddings, by the way.
And what caused that?
Huh?
Colonialism. Colonization. When we was in Africa drinking mango fruits and vegetables and stuff, we had 5 wives. It was polygamy. Well, now, when we come to America, built this mug.
Every male in the Black conscious community needs to stop telling that lie. First of all, if you're Israelite, if you believe you're an Israelite, you need to do something. Because in the ancient Near East, where polygyny was allowed, it was the least common form of marriage. In Africa, it's still allowed, and it's still the least common form of marriage. So this idea that men have 5 wives and that's how
the fact that you said Middle East let me know that you have no education on geography. There is no Middle East. It's just Northern Africa. It's just Northern Africa after they built the Suez Canal.
Oh my God.
Just Northern Africa.
Excuse me, Only Loves my friend. She wrote a whole book about that. I didn't say the Middle East. I said the ancient Near East. What are you talking about?
Whatever.
I know about the Suez Canal and that is man-made and to separate things. I know that Israel's Northeast Africa.
Oh, okay. I don't believe that you say polygyny, whatever is called, it was not prevalent in Africa. I don't believe that.
Sorry.
So can you ask me can I ask you one question? So have America, is it in America's best interest for us not to have Black babies and for us not to have Black families? Is it from your own knowledge, from between your ears, from your experience, from your years of living on this earth, would you put your house on it that is America for Black families and black men progression?
Well, I can say that America certainly doesn't support the Black family structure, but the means is not by empowering women. The means is happening because they are not investing in our men financially. The school system doesn't benefit our men because of the way that they learn. I mean, there's a number of ways that I can go through and prove versus because when Black men don't have money and they can hardly sustain themselves, they think less about marriage. Okay, so that's the purpose of keeping them in poverty, which is the real cause of the breakup of the Black family.
Giving women money, so Goldman Sachs giving women money, is that going to empower them for marriage, or is that? Oh, hold on, let me finish. Or is that going to empower them to tell people to kiss their ass? I got my bag. Giving Black women money.
I don't think that women determine whether to be married or whether to be attached to a man because of money. I make more money than my husband. I make more money than him. That doesn't mean like, oh, get out the door and leave. Like
the reason why that's bull.
Black women are the breadwinners in their home, and that includes married women. So married Black women are more than likely make more money than their husbands. They're still with them.
And that's the same reason why divorce rate is 70%. That's the same reason why Black women feel they don't need a man, because their careers, because White Zaddy gave y'all some biscuits.
Black women are getting the bag. They are making the money.
White Zaddy gave it to you though.
they're choosing to stay with their Black spouses, and then you question Black women's loyalty. Black women are more married to Black men than Black men are to Black women. So when we look at the stats when it comes
I
to
agree.
loyalty, that's
I
the
agree.
whole water.
I agree. I agree.
I have a
But
whole movement of don't marry the Black woman. Let's go across seas and get another woman from somebody else's patriarchy.
okay. But White Zaddy gave us the 94 crime bill that threw us in prison. White Zaddy gave us more deaths between 2005 2016 Obama presidency, more deaths between them 2 years than that worst year I named you beginning of the show, where it was 3,441 people. So White Zaddy gave us that bull crap, and White Zaddy gave you money. White Zaddy give you money and food. He give us laws and bullets. He give you food and resources.
We don't have laws and bullets. Corinne Gaines wasn't murdered by police, stalked by police, murdered, and guess who didn't have her back when that happened and said she deserved it? Black men in our community said that about her. And then when it went to court and her family initially won that $34 million, why was that? Because they heard what really happened in there, and she was really being attacked.
Is Black women getting
a judge overturned it by himself.
Is Black women getting like a bear eating grass is the normal, right? Right?
Okay.
But a bear on a tricycle. Hold on, but a bear on a tricycle is the exception.
Go ahead. Judah.
Hold on. So now, is a Black woman getting killed by the police? Is that the norm or the exception?
That's not an exception. Sandra Bland was killed. Breonna Taylor was killed. I mean, we're getting killed at higher rates than other women. Just like you're being killed at higher rates than other men. You're just trying to look. I hope everybody sees that Judah dismisses every woman issue. There is, and this is why we had to separate. This is why we had to say, well, we need an avocation here.
It shouldn't be no women issues. It should be Black family, Black people issues. That's the only issue it should be.
Well, when they tried the domestic violence, rape, and all the other stuff, it was like, yo, we can wait for that later. That's why they had to separate. That's what the white women were telling them, and that's why they said deuces.
Listen.
Their own vocabulary.
Listen, it's not that Black man didn't care about feminism. Remember that? You ever seen that meme where the Black guy got 9 knives in his back, and the Black woman, she got 1 knife in her back, and she's comforting him, like, oh no, he's comforting her. He got 9 stab wounds in his back. She has 1, and he's comforting her. Like, Black men, we deal with so much stuff being Black. We deal with so much stuff being Black men that they made it where we don't have time to worry about y'all equal pay. Because we got to worry about somebody putting a bullet in our head that look like us or look like a white person. We got to worry about law. We got to worry about keeping our girlfriend happy and our family happy. Because if we don't, we're deadbeats. That's why white men and Black men lead in suicide, because we got so much stuff that we're dealing with. You see what I'm saying?
But protecting your Black woman, even if it's from members of your own community, should be first and foremost. Because really, it protects you too. If somebody doesn't hit your mama, then you don't have to act a fool. You know what I'm saying? Because they respect and they value your mom or your sister, and it's crazy because every time I talk about this, I have to put it in the scenario of Black men and women they can't have sex with, and if these things happen to them, how would you feel? What would you do? And Black men see racism, but they don't see sexism as overbearing or oppressive as racism is, and some would even contend it's not even happening. But we can and see it.
That's what pissed me off about Tamika Mallory. When she said that, it wasn't even a Cadillac commercial. When she said that sexism is almost as bad as racism. When she said that, I'm like, you on that bullshit. You on that bullshit, lady. You on that bull.
How is it not? This is something real that women experience every day, and you're saying it's not happening.
You know why?
White.
You know why?
Daddy
you know why? because we
isn't happening. Just
because
like
my great grandma,
you,
my great grandma, and my great grandpa.
Streets. That's just like White Daddy is telling you. Oh, you get jobs when you know you get enough jobs and opportunity. Look at Obama. That is what you sound like. And the fact is that Tamika D. Mallory did stand up for Farrakhan when the women's movement tried to force her to denounce him and step away. She stood up for him and what he's done for the Black community. And who was backing her with that? Black women, majority wise, but and Black men were like, but she stood by a Black man and even raised her leadership in the women's movement.
Was my great great grandma and great great grandpa at the bottom of a boat with shit, piss, urine, period blood? Was they at the bottom of that boat for racism or sexism?
Racism, and then they got raped, and they got beaten, and they molested because of
was
sexism.
Black men lynched? Was Black men lynched and Black women lynched? I mean, raped and all that. Was that because of racism or sexism?
Sexism.
Was we denied? Was we denied the vote? Hold on. Let me bring it home. I'll let you bring it home. Was we denied the vote because of racism? I'm not asking you. These are rhetoricals. Was we denied the vote because of racism or sexism? Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery, all the people killed in the street. Was that racism or sexism?
We were
Thank you.
Both because of racism and sexism. Both. See, that's what you're not getting. It's both for us. Both.
No.
Yes.
Because of Zaddy.
Women weren't getting raped by their husbands. It's still
don't fault me for when Zaddy
on the law books that your husband can rape and beat you in certain states.
Listen. Before the white man started oppressing Black people around the world, he was oppressing his women. He was beating his woman. He was doing something to his woman. So everything that we doing right now is post-colonialism. We are not in our natural habitat.
Perpetuating these traumas amongst each other, but you don't want to take ownership of it because you are afraid of tarnishing the Black male image. No,
I don't want my party. I don't want my women to go to the Black feminist movement because they're just being used by Karen and Becky.
Okay.
Period, point blank.
By Karen and Becky, what is manifesting in my life? Am I on a pole shaking it? No. Am I on? I'm on Instagram or OnlyFans?
I'll tell you.
No.
I'll tell you.
Educator who educates Black and brown children? Yes, I do. I mean, do I have an education? Yes, I do. I mean, what am I with men? Yes, I am. What?
Feminism has rotten your mind on your perspective of your Black man. You see Black men through Fox News.
Informed me about how Black men and Black women are treated. We need to understand that. If I can look at stats in regards to racism, I can do the same thing when it comes to sexism. They didn't feed me anything. They said these things hurt. I said, do they? And then I went and researched it, and it does. And
listen. First of all, feminism. I don't understand feminism for this reason. I told you this other day. You two are not on playing fields. You and Keisha and Karen are not on the same playing field. For one, Karen. Let me finish it. The Karens of the world, their fathers and husbands are the CEOs, the politicians, the president of the company, sometimes the president of the United States. Their fathers are the big marketing guys. Their fathers are the people who got generational wealth off the backs of our fathers, right? Like, we gotta take this all into consideration.
I already conceded that is in fact the fact, which is why Black feminism said we can't deal with y'all. We're gonna be over here.
And Keisha, hold on. And Keisha's peers and her father is the laborer, the team worker, the moms and pop store. the grassroots organization, the worker, the laborer, the blue collar. Those are Keisha's. So I don't understand how feminism was ever made when our peer groups and worlds are two different. Yeah, yeah. Feminism is rooted in her daddy.
There was a need to address women.
Look, tell Karen this. Hold on. I'll say one thing. Tell Karen this. Tell Karen that her daddy is the reason for feminism because he's pushing white supremacy. Her daddy owns a company. Her daddy owns a corporation. Her daddy is a politician. They got the power.
White supremacy is making Black people in their communities perpetuate trauma. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about what's going on in our community because of white supremacy. That doesn't sound like any type of leadership message that anybody would give before. We need to own it and we need to fix it. And that is why the advocates of women are saying you want them to shut up and get stuff for you first. You dismissed every issue that I brought out that women, Black women deal with. Yes, you did. You pointed to white supremacy every time, not owning that this is a problem. You never said this is a problem, Sheikah. I'm going to be dedicated to ending that too because I have women in my life I care about. That you can't make that concession because then you have to believe certain things go on in our community that involve our men perpetuating this not just on young girls now, but on young boys. We saw what happened with African Bambaataa. We saw, but we don't want to hold people accountable. We want to say, wait, hold up, though. White supremacy, you didn't throw him in jail for it. I mean, if we're talking about men who claim to be righteous, and it's specifically in the Hebrew Israelite community, then you should not even tolerate righteousness amongst your unrighteousness amongst your own. But anyway, I got stuff to do. This has been enlightening, and I'm glad that we had this conversation. I wish you had came and had sourced up, though, so I can see what you're looking at that informs you of your opinions, which we have to admit that they are opinions unless there's a body of work, there's some stats, or a study that backs
Look up Ida B. Wells. Look up Ida B. Wells and Search for Any Truth, and look up how white feminists use them, just like they're using Black feminists today. Just look it up. Read the fine print.
I'll look it up and I will get back to you with that. But at this time, I gotta go.
All right, Queen.
All right, it was great talking to you. And I think this is what, let me just say this. I think this is what more people need to do instead of arguing on threads and calling people names and stuff, because I've seen a bunch of sisters who jumped in on your threads be called names and insulted. And yeah, I'm going to hold you accountable to make sure that so-called kings are not disrespecting women.
I like that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for those who tuned in. Have a great day. I gotta get back to the fam. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Have a good one.